Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our featured speaker, Kevin LaChapelle, to the TEDx Kids at El Cajon stage.
Good afternoon. It's just such a privilege to be here. Is it not amazing at these young people that have stood up here? I mean, you look at the courage. You know, our future. I want to talk a lot about our future. And our future sometimes doesn't look so great. Sometimes a lot of challenges. And then when you hear young people like that, you are our future. And it's absolutely amazing the different things that you talked about today, because many of the things you spoke about are the challenges that we're facing for our future. Sometimes you're going to be around people that maybe you're not going to be in tune with your purpose and why you want to do what you want to do. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Sometimes people will ask you, they'll say, you know, what do you want to do for your future? I will tell you that the what is not nearly as important as the why. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Because you're going to face obstacles. You're going to have obstacles. Not everyone's going to see the things that you see. And the reason you see the things you see is because of experience that have happened in your life. The power of why is very, very critical. What is important? It's important to know what you want to do, but why you want to do it. That purpose is a very high calling, and it will carry you to what you want to accomplish. I'm going to share a story with you, a true story, about a group of young people that I will tell you have impacted my life more than anything ever has in the world. Anything. And I've had a lot of different experiences. So in about 2010, I have a call from some people saying there's a group of refugees that are here in San Diego, and they're having a tough time because they're being picked on by gangsters on the way home. And we heard about people talking about bullying, negativity, you know, YouTube, all the different things. When I heard about this, I had never heard of this particular place called Cajon State. And this is a place that's in between, it's on the border in between Burma and Thailand. And this is a place that's been said to be the longest running war in the history. Some 67 years of war. It's been very, very destructive. When Jill Bartow, one of the board members for the school district here, asked me to come and speak, I was ecstatic because I know about TEDx, and I'm so awed by the young people and the courage that they have. And I thought, what an interesting time to be able to also share this story of these young people. So I reached out and I actually met these young Karen people. Some of them were in junior high, some were in high school. And they had a tough time, language barrier. And consider this, when you come here, and East County knows there's a large refugee population, when you leave a place that is filled with violence, you're seeking refuge, thus you're a refugee. And imagine the very place you seek refuge, you encounter very difficult things and things that seem to keep pushing you down. So when I met these young people, I was just awed because I studied up as to what they went through in their country. And when I met them, it didn't match. They were very resilient. They had a lot of focus. I asked them, what do you want to do for your future? They didn't mince their words at all. They looked at me and they said, we want to go back to our country and help our people. I thought about that because I had read about all the violence. And the violence has not stopped. It continues. Because you see, the Burmese army keeps pushing people out so they can take over the land for the valuable resources. And then they leave the land barren with nothing on it, which people then don't have food or any resources. So I thought, why would you come here, have a great place, and you'd be willing to go back to where you came from, where you know there's difficulty? So I began to ask them the why, and they began to share with me story after story after story that were just stories that, you know, you don't want to think about. But they're real. They're real stories. And I couldn't believe how methodical they were. They said, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And as I watched them, they did this, and they did this, and they did this. But keep in mind, many people around them did not tell them what they could do. They told them, well, you can't do this. That's not realistic. It's dangerous. You can't go there. You can't do this. Everything was you can't. We decided we wanted to tell them not only you can, we'll stand with you, and you tell us what you need and we'll help you out. So here's what happened. Time goes by. They had to start saving money because they had to pay for their flights to go there. It wasn't cheap. We also had to come up with some funds to pay for the resources of getting into some of these areas in the jungle that are not easy to reach. And they had to come up with a plan. What will we do when we get there? They decided, you know what, we need to do medical outreach. Some of them wanted to be nurses for that reason. Some wanted to be firefighters. Some wanted to be police. Different things that they all focused on. They said, we're going to go to college. We're going to get there. But most of their goals were to eventually help their people. Two guys even said, we want to be pilots. We want to be able to fly to help our people. So as we move forward and we start planning, it took 3 years to plan this. 3 years. This group of young people, you can see here in this picture, formed the first Leadership Academy. And this was a project-based learning opportunity. They had to lead this. They had to do it. And again, it wasn't easy. They had to reach out to their country that many of the people they didn't know, because you see they lived in refugee camps. Some of them had never even seen their country before because of being in the refugee camp. So what did they do? They got on Facebook, began connecting with hundreds and hundreds of people all across their country. And pretty soon, everyone started hearing about these Karen people from the United States that were going to come and help them. They even made a song for their people. So time goes on, and they say, let's go. So we get on a plane, and we all fly over there. So we get to Bangkok, right? Many of these people have never been out of the country, just came into the United States. That was it. So we had a team. We go there, and so we get there. Everybody's excited. You can imagine. Bags, all of our bags of equipment, medical supplies. People are expecting us. So everything is on target. You know, it's this date and this time we're meeting this group. We're going to this village, and we're communicating with people. So they're messaging people on Facebook as we go along. Amazing how powerful the tool of Facebook is, that you can get reach into some of the far places around the world. So after we get to Bangkok, we have to take a bus, a shuttle, to another airport to catch our next flight. This was very critical because if we didn't make this flight, it would set us back 8 hours. 8 hours when you're somewhere for just a few weeks is a long time that we are going to be delayed. So we get on this shuttle, and if you think traffic's bad here, nothing. Flat out a parking lot. I mean, we're looking and we're like, there's no way, we're not going to make it. And we didn't. We didn't make it. We missed the flight. It wasn't like here. We went to the airport and we went to the ticket counter. Oh, we're so sorry. Can you book us on the next flight? And we were told, that's your problem that you missed your flight. Not only can you not get another flight, they're sold out for the next few days, but there is no refunds. So we're thinking, money's tight. We're thinking, oh, great. So we have to take taxis for an 8-hour drive now that's going to set us back. The team got discouraged because we had everything set like clockwork. We're going to do this, everything's going great, and then, whoa, what's going on? So not only were we discouraged, we got at each other's throat a little bit because we got all these bags, and if you can imagine trying to get taxis, little cars, and a bunch of them, and start packing all this on your lap, and you're going to get ready for an 8-hour drive carrying your luggage on your lap. So we do, and so we're messaging people. All of us are on Facebook messaging saying we're on our way, but we're 8 hours delayed. About halfway on the drive, we get a message from this young person there whose parents were killed in the war. He's 17. We only met him through Facebook. And he tells us, he took 3 days to actually get to where we were going, to the city where we're all going to meet. So on his way there, he gets stopped at a checkpoint. And he did not have the proper documentation, and he was arrested. So now we're really discouraged. We're thinking, oh, no. But then we start realizing as we connect with him and ask him where he's at, that he's only like 30 minutes ahead of us. We're like, wow, we're going to actually be able to intercept him. We're going to go there. We'll see what happens. So we get there, and we go to this, we get to this checkpoint, and we're thinking, they're just going to say he's arrested. We had gotten pictures of our team from across there, and we made ID cards for everybody, similar to this. And so we had his ID card with us. So one of the taxi drivers says he's going to translate in Thai, and he says, let's talk to them. And so we began to talk to them and tell them about the plan and what these guys have been doing. Show them the ID and say, you have one of our team members, and he's really important for our team to be successful. His parents were killed in the war. We want to get him in school. And it was interesting because we saw a change of heart from the officials, and they actually handed him over to us. But what the team was blown away by was, had we not missed that flight, we would not have been able to intercept Sapo. We wouldn't have been able to. And so we began to realize that even when something bad happens, good came from it. We saw it as like a divine intervention, because had we gotten all the way to Mesat where we were going, we would probably not be able to have the transportation to try to get back, and we definitely wouldn't have received his message because we would have been in flight. So we finally get to Mesat, and Sapo is with us. We meet the rest of the team, and these guys begin traveling around the land, and we're traveling by boat across areas, and we start doing medical outreach and just reaching out to the villages. And it was amazing to see the leadership of these young people. And today, when I saw the young people speaking, and I hope the young people understand, you are leaders in its truest sense. In its truest sense, because you are willing to speak up, stand in front of all sorts of people, and present on what you believe for your future. And that in itself, you're going to end up doing it, even amidst barriers. What was interesting, I see these guys over there, and they've been told so many times they can't. And not only did I reflect on they can't, but I saw that they are. They're doing everything that they said they were going to be doing. And it impacted not just a few people, a lot of people. The shirt that I'm wearing is the traditional attire for Karen, and I wear this shirt so proudly because of how much impact not only they had, but when we went to their country, the impact of the Karen people, because they have suffered so much, but yet when you talk with them, you would have no idea what they'd been through. You'd have no idea at all, because they had joy and they had hope for their future, even though most people realize their future is bleak because of the situation that's going on in their land. So we went to different refugee camps, and this girl that's up ahead, Day, she actually was in this camp. She got to return to talk to people and encourage people and tell them what her plans are for her future, to become a nurse and to be able to reach out to her people. Seeing little kids out in the middle near campfires, just in the jungle, being able to go talk to them. But then some other things happened while we were there. While we were there, we began to receive information that some people weren't particularly in agreement with what we were doing. They didn't like people coming back from the United States because they were frustrated, because they were saying the people that left us abandoned us. And this was very hard, because for me, I knew that one of the concerns that the young people had was that they did not want their people to ever think they had been forgotten. And there was a few people that were saying, you know, we're upset because you abandoned our people, not realizing these are families that were escaping violence and death. And so it was interesting to see how the courage that they had to not only listen to the people that spoke out against them, but to sit down with them and reason with them and share with them that that's not the way it should be, that there are Karen people all over the world, and to try to say that you don't want anyone to come here and help, it's very short-sighted, and it really isn't a good thing. And one guy, Samuel, he's talking in front of generals of the militaries there, like it's nothing. And he's telling them how disappointed he is to hear people say those kind of things. Unbelievable to see that kind of courage. This is Sapo right here, the one that got stopped at the checkpoint. He's now in school, and we keep in touch with him. Our next trip is in December, where we will link up with the same guys and actually many, many more to do similar outreach and leadership development, education, all sorts of different things. But here's what also has happened. Since these young people agreed and said, let's take a risk and do this, now Karen people from all over the world, their eyes are on them seeing what they did. Now in December, some of the people joining on this trip are as far away as like Norway, the Netherlands, because they saw it took somebody to take the first step. Like some of the young people today, willing to take a first step and stand up for what they believe. and surround themselves with people that tell them, not only can you do this, we're behind you and we believe in you. The Karen people knew that not only did I believe in them, sometimes more than they believed in themselves, but we were willing to say, we'll stand with you. And that's the true test of believing in people. It's not just saying it, but putting action behind it. So we can say, yeah, we're going to walk with you. We're going to help remove any barriers that we can. So this was the checkpoint. Here's Samuel, the one that's talking to the generals. Here's him with all these kids. It was amazing to see these young people looking to these guys and girls that are coming here from, came from America to just be offering outreach to them. See, some people they saw come back on vacation. These people did not come back for vacation. They came for hard work and spending all their resources that they could have spent at Starbucks, but instead spend it on resources to take over there. Some of the times, some of the challenges was so many of the kids that had worms that needed to get medicine for that. Be lines and lines and lines of kids. This is meeting some of the leadership. They actually met even the vice president. This is Samuel with the young boy that has a skin condition that was getting really infected. This is Sermu. He's actually right now, I believe, in basic training. Joined the military here and then also going to college. This is the vice president of their country, and they were able to meet with her. And what was interesting is the questions that they asked her. They didn't come naive. They didn't come to just say, hi, here we are. They actually came and said, we have some questions about the future of our country, and we want there to be peace. We want the fighting to stop. We want to know how can we do that. They met with all the generals. It's unheard of for them to be able to do that. The greatest thing is these young people that I'm telling you about, they're all here right now. I'm going to ask them to stand up and come on up here so that everyone can see you. Come on up here. Well, thank you for the opportunity to share. I'm going to hit on these guys. All right. Thank you.